Well, hello everybody. Welcome. It is the Golf Town Virtual Golf Clinic hosted by me, Lisa Blueswick, nicknamed Lisa Longball. Now you can see that I am again sporting my Masters green today because today I think we all would have been on our couches for moving day. Today would have been moving day at the Masters, Saturday, which is again my very favorite tournament of the year. So I had to represent by wearing my Masters green. And you'll also notice the cardigan. That's in honor of Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer, of course, has won 4 Masters. Absolutely unbelievable. And just an amazing man. He competed in 50 consecutive Masters. His last Masters, for those of you that remember or watching, in 2004, I remember they allowed in the broadcast to allow Arnie to walk up that last fairway on 18 in silence, and we could just suck in and enjoy the moment. Well, I am wearing my cardigan because of Mr. Palmer. I have to share a fun story with you. It took me months and months to save up my pennies to surprise my husband, to take him to a bucket list course for him, which was Pebble Beach. And when we got there, we were like 2 kids in a candy store. We were so excited. And we walked into the pro shop and we said, hi, we have a 12:30 tea time. And they said, 12:30, Mr. and Mrs. Blueswick? And we said, yes. And they said, okay, great. You're playing with the Smith twosome. And they said, you're playing behind Mr. Fredrickson, Mr. Lester, Mr. Palmer. We're like, sounds great. We walk out to the first tee at Pebble Beach, and who is standing there but Mr. Palmer? Arnold Palmer. And my husband's like, wow, that's cool. I'm like, oh, we're going to go say hi. And he's like, no, Lisa, we are not going to say hi to Arnold Palmer. I'm like, oh, yeah, we are. Great. Hi, Mr. Palmer. My name's Lisa. I'm from Canada. And he was so wonderful. He was so kind. He chatted with us. It was my husband's birthday. He wished him a happy birthday. And we ended up getting a picture with Mr. Palmer, which was so unbelievable. So this was at the first tee at Pebble Beach. And no, Mr. Palmer and I aren't shrimpy. My husband and is just 6'7", so that's why. And my hair color changed somehow along the way. But this memory, this hangs in my living room because I just was such a special moment. And then to watch Mr. Palmer tee off on the first hole at Pebble Beach, we were all like this, and you know, he gives us a wave. But it was like a Wednesday afternoon. It wasn't final round Sunday, but unbelievable moment. So in honor of Arnold Palmer and the Masters, I am wearing my green cardigan today. So today we are going to talk about putting, and I would like to welcome, I see Jan has joined us, Suzanne, Pam, Lorraine, Wilma, hello from Victoria. Thanks everyone for joining us. So putting, this is an important topic because putting, we can save more strokes with our putter and quicker with our putter than any other equipment in our bag. We will make more strokes with our putter than any other equipment in our bag. And so this is so important because one of the things I find most with putting is I find, especially for women, putters are not the right size. A lot of women have hand-me-down putters, so which is great. That's how we get started. But maybe it was from a dad, a brother, a boyfriend, a friend. And so here's the problem, though, with the hand-me-down putters is that if that person is a lot taller, their putter is going to be too long. And if your putter is too long, your missed putts could be not because of your poor stroke, but simply because your putter is too long. So the problem when your putter is too long is you won't be able to get your eyes over the ball. Now, as I've discussed in all my other classes, I am not a PGA of Canada professional. I am considered a professional golfer, not a golf professional. I'm a sponsored athlete. Our golf professionals are the ones who are out there, PGA of Canada, LPGA, PGA of America instructors. They've gone to school to learn how to teach the game. So my instructor, Paul Horton, talked about the importance of making sure you get your eyes over the ball. So here's the problem. So when you have your putt, and if your putter is too long, so let me grab a putter here that is too long. So as you can see, oops, that's not my, oh, must be, here we go. There's my, whoops, there we go, sorry. This is my putter that's a lot longer, here we go. But as you can see, even just in the difference here, it doesn't seem like a massive difference, but it will be. What's gonna happen, you'll be a couple inches off your eye line. So if your putter is too long, you're gonna have to stand further away from the golf ball to feel comfortable, and then your eyes are not over the ball, and it impacts your alignment. If your putter is properly fit, you're gonna have your eyes directly over the ball, which is where they should be. Now, Paul Horton said you could also, depending on some golfers, like them slightly inside the ball, but for the most part, you want to have your eyes over the golf ball. How do you know if your eyes are over the golf ball? You can simply kind of plumb bob, hold the putter from your eye down, and is it covering the golf ball? And another way to try it is you could even, as you set up for your putt, hold a ball over your eye, drop the ball, Oh, so that shows me right away my eyes are inside. So again, that ball should be landing on top of the ball if your eyes are over the ball. So again, most people, if you're, especially women, if you're not fitted properly for your putter, it could be impacting your stroke. So easy fix. What you need to do is go to Golf Town, go to your fitter, and what you're going to do is have the grip taken off. Sometimes they can even save the grip. They literally will they'll chop the grip down chop the shaft down, put the grip back on, and bada bing, bada boom, now your putter fits. So again, this is a very quick and easy fix that can really make a difference to your game. So really important to get your putter fitted. Also, when you're getting your putter fitted, they can also change the lie angle of your putter and the loft of your putter. So again, this is something that I think is well worth it to go get your putter fit to make sure that it fits your stroke. Now, while we're talking about equipment, another great part that could be the best $30, $35 you spent is on your grip. Now, one of the most important things in putting is we want to create a triangle. So a triangle would be from shoulder to shoulder, right here, almost kind of in this prayer position. This is kind of the practice where the body remains nice and still, and when you're putting, you should just be rocking those arms. Rocking those arms. I don't want to see that swing. When I see people swaying, I know they're going to have a lot of issues with their putting. So very solid body. You're not turning your hips at all. We make that prayer type position, and all we're doing is rocking our shoulders. Where the problem comes in is when people start breaking their wrists. So when you start breaking your wrists in putting, you have no clue where that ball is going to go. So what happens is when you break those wrists, again, we'll go from this way. When you break those wrists, that ball can again, your distance control is off. You're not quite sure where that speed is. It's really hard to get that control. So what a great invention has been in the last several years is our grips. For $30, $35, you can get a brand new grip. And there's so many different types of grips. You can get grips that have flat handles, and then it goes skinny, so it kind of helps hold your hands into that kind of prayer position there. Or you can get kind of the rounder grips like this. You can get, here we go, you can get one of the grips that isn't round all the way around, but it could be kind of flat on the front, as you can see here, flat on the front. So there's many different types of grips. You can also get grips to honor teams or things that are very important to you. For instance, this Super Stroke grip was a grip that was made with Golf Town about the Humboldt Broncos. So this was a Humboldt Bronco grip with all proceeds going to the Humboldt Broncos, which was pretty darn cool. So again, what happens with this thicker grip, when you have the thicker grip, it's what it does is it helps lock your wrists. So that thicker grip, I'm a huge fan of the thicker grip for myself because I know with that thicker grip, it forces me to lock my wrists when I'm putting. So if you know you're a super wristy putter, $30, $35, grab yourself a new grip and it will be fantastic. I guarantee it'll help you from breaking your wrists. So there's another great tip. I see Ellen has joined us today. Margaret, Evan, thanks so much for joining us from Ontario. Master Saturday, you got it, Evan. So again, those parts are great, really important things we need to know with our putting. Next thing with our putting is that I noticed, so first of all, we want to create this triangle, all right? The next part about our putting is ball position. Now, remember, we've talked about ball position in one of my earlier classes, so if you missed it, you're going to want to go back and check it out. But what we talked about ball position is that we talked about for all the clubs in your bag, this is something just to try. Again, there's many ways to skin a cat, but feet together, move the lead foot 3 to 4 inches of the width of a club head and back foot to comfort for every club in your bag except for driver. And driver should be feet together, simply move your back foot so that the ball is off the instep of your lead foot. Now, what about putting? What's your ball position for putting? Now, again, back to my PGA of Canada coach, Paul Horton, he said the ball position for putting should be slightly forward of center. I have seen a lot of people when they putt, they end up putting their ball dead center of their stance. Well, that's impacting your ability to roll the ball. We want the ball to roll beautifully when it goes down the putting green. If you see your ball bouncing and skipping, again, reduces your chances of going in the hole and increases your chances of those 3 putts. So I want to see when you're putting, again, I see a lot of people put that ball position in the dead center of their stance. That's not where it should be. It shouldn't be dead center. My coach, Paul Horton, said it should definitely be towards the front. It should be forward of center. Steve Stricker, phenomenal putter on the PGA Tour, he said the ball position should be 1 to 2 inches off your lead foot. So it should be 1 to 2 inches back of your lead foot so that you get the proper roll when you're putting. And he said that creates that nice proper roll. So if you're that person that's putting the ball center your stance for putting, it should be slightly forward and again, measurement wise, 1 to 2 inches off that lead foot. So really important to do that. Now, what's another mistake I tend to see so many people do with their putting that increases their chances of 3 putts? What happens is this. I see a lot of people when they're putting, they go to putt, and when they putt, they are so excited to see where that ball is going. They're so excited to see where that ball is going. They follow after they've made their stroke. They follow the ball with their eyes. They're watching where they want to see it go in. Well, the problem when you do that, as you can see, when you start to make that turn, when you go and look, can you see how your outside shoulder starts to come in? And what's going to happen? You're going to start missing all the putts on that side. So here's your fix for doing this. This is a drill, I believe, from Pia Nilsson from Vision 54, and this is so cool. If you've never done this, I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now, it's best, obviously, in natural light, and a putting green is awesome, but you can still see it indoors. You couldn't really see it with a dark carpet. So a lighter carpet's better, or if you have a chance to go outdoors to try this, that you have some light above. What I want you to do is this. You're going to look at your ball, okay? You're going to look at your ball, and then you're going to make a putting stroke. After you make your putting stroke, I want you to look where the ball was standing or where it was sitting. What you're going to see is a black shadow. It'll only last 2 to 3 seconds, and then it's going to disappear. So it's an optical illusion. So what you're going to do is take a look at your ball. You're going to look at your ball, make a putting stroke, continue to look where your ball was, and you're going to see that black shadow. And it's really cool. And you probably have never noticed it before, even if you've been golfing for 20, 30 years. Well, what I do is I wait until I see the black shadow. When I see the black shadow, then I allow myself to look at my putt and give the fist pump, hopefully if it goes in. But what happens, that just helps keep us in our position and in our posture, not quickly turning that shoulder, which again, often makes us miss those putts. So if you can't see the shadow, there's a few people that struggle seeing that shadow. What you could just do is make your putt and go 1, 2 in your head, and then you can look. So if you can't see the shadow, count to 2, and it'll have the same effect. But I guarantee it will help you make more strokes. You can even wait to hear the ball go in the cup, which is also pretty cool. I'm going to do a shout out to Carol. She's joined us. Mike from Vancouver. Oh, I love Vancouver. And Wanda, she's joined us. Thanks so much. And Brenda and Karen, thanks so much for joining us. And she's already on the turf in her backyard. I love it. I love it. So again, do that drill, the shadow ball drill, and I do that every time I putt. I wait until I see the shadow. Once I see the shadow, then I go ahead and look at my putt. And again, I guarantee you'll be online so much more. All right, what are we going to talk about the 2 most important parts of putting? The 2 most important parts of putting are number 1, alignment, and number 2, distance control. To me, those are the 2 most important factors in sinking more putts. So number 1, let's talk about alignment. Now what's important in alignment, we need to make sure that our putter face is square. Now we talked about this in our last class when we talked about alignment on Thursday, and it's so important that that putter face is square or straight ahead and that it doesn't close and that it doesn't open. And that's really important as it's coming through. And so that triangle that we talked about with no broken wrists, nice straight stiff wrists, that triangle is so important because that's how we keep that putter face nice and square. So how do you know if your alignment is good? Now remember, we talked about last class, we talked about the line on the ball. We talked about the line on the ball that most golf manufacturers have some sort of a line on the ball, even arrows on that side of the line, or the words make a line. That's great. We also talked about having a Sharpie, and then if you really like to, you can hand draw that line, or just to make it a little darker so it's a little bit easier to see, or that aid that you can buy at Golf Town to line them up. I think it's about $12.99. It's a little cap to go on to make your line absolutely perfect. So if you struggle with your alignment, you might like this line, but again, not necessary for everyone, but this is helpful. And so again, we need to make sure that putter head is square. So a great little drill to do that is you're going to put your ball down. you're going to make what we call like a little gate. And if you're on the putting green, you can stick 2 tees in the green. But while we're at home and on our carpet, or maybe our backyard, if it's mowed tightly enough, a carpet might be better. As long as it's not shag or hardwood. We don't want Augusta National fast, and we don't want super, super slow. But you can also just use 2 balls. And so you want to place the balls or the tees if you're outside just slightly wider than the width of a ball. And what you can do is just start with something easier. Make sure you kind of get down, go through your routine where you get that ball lined up. You want to get that ball lined up. And remember, we talked about the importance of a pre-shot routine last time. So if you missed our last video on Thursday about pre-shot routine, absolutely awesome. Really important to kind of get that pre-shot routine, but hopefully there's no break. There shouldn't be any break in your basement or your kitchen or your living room. So it should be a nice flat putt, so we know it's going to be nice and straight. Again, we can line that alignment mark up on most putters come with some sort of alignment mark or maybe a 2 ball. We want to line that mark up. We're going to make a stroke, and this will tell us how we're doing with our club face. Ooh, darn it, I hit that ball. So right away, I know that my club face slightly shut down a little bit as I went through. So it gives us great feedback by having that little gate. It'll give us great feedback. Now, if you do wonderfully in the 2-foot drill, put it back to 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, and that will really tell you how you are doing with your alignment. So again, this is something we can be doing at home while we're all staying at home. Juniors can do this. This is super easy and super fun for any of our junior golfers at home. Make a contest of it. Have a little bit of fun with it. Make a contest, you know, and that's really fun to do. Another great drill you can do at home is kind of what we've called the clock drill before, and you can just get a coaster if you have at home, or even a glass. But with your coaster, what you can do is you're going to make a clock shape with, you're going to kind of put it at 12, 1, 2, 3, go all the way around in kind of 3-foot increments. And I won't do the whole thing. And then what you can do is see how you're doing on, can you hit the hole in all your 3-foot putts. Because when you're at the practice range, I watch lots of people putting from the same spot over and over and over. Well, heck, as we know on the golf course, every hole is different. Every slope and angle is different. So you should never be standing at the same spot, putting over and over and over from the same location. You should constantly be moving to prepare you for the round you're about to play and to help your golf skill. But that's, again, something you can do in your living room. Have the coaster in the middle, set it around like a clock, and can you make the 3-footers? Then make it 4, then make it 5. And again, this is something you can do as we're here on Easter weekend, long weekend, make a little challenge of it, okay? Or you could play horse like you would in basketball, that you get a letter if you miss, and have some fun with it. So again, something great you can do with your juniors at home and have a lot of fun. So we love to do that. Even at Christmas time in my family, we actually have a trophy, and it's called the Prancer Putt-Off. And we have one of those mats that shoots a ball back, and we go through rounds, and there's elimination rounds, and we give away a trophy. So kind of a fun way and a fun thing to do for families at home, especially who are missing some golf. I'm going to do a nice shout out to Peggy in there from Newcastle again, Cammie, so wonderful that you've joined us, and Debbie, Kathy, thank you so much. That's wonderful. Thanks for joining us. So that's a great little practice drill as well to work on your alignment and making sure. But that gate drill, that will really help you know right away if your putter face is square as you're making your stroke. So really, really important. Now, here's a swing thought that I want to share with you that absolutely changed my putting. So for me, and this almost eliminated all of my 3 putts. This was so mind-blowing for me. So here's the swing thought. Before, you know when you're putting and you make a stroke at the hole and the ball blows past the hole. So what do you say to yourself? You're like, ah, darn, I hit it too hard, okay? So your next putt, you thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna hit it a little softer. So you go and you hit it a little softer, and now it doesn't make it to the cup. So now you're like, okay, well, I guess I need to hit it a little harder than a little less soft. Well, here's the problem. That's not measurable. So I believe in golf, and especially in putting, measurable will help us be more precise and sink more putts. So here is my new swing thought. If I blow it past the hole, my swing thought is, uh-oh, I made too long of a stroke. And here's what your stroke should look like. So in a proper golf stroke, I see lots of people make a stroke where they go, I'm gonna move my little coaster here, where they go a little bit back, okay, just a sec. They go, just a sec, I'll use this here. They go a little bit back and lots through, especially on long putts, a little bit back, lots through, okay? That's not the way you should be putting. My PGA of Canada coach, Paul Horton, he likes to see the same stroke back as you go forward, and at least the same distance back as you go forward. So that should be at the bare minimum. And you could, if you were going to go further, the stroke through could be a tiny bit longer, but at least the same far back as the same far through. So as you're stroking back, it should be the same distance back, the same distance through. So when we're talking about that swing thought of too hard, too soft, that is terrible for golf. What I want you to start thinking about is going, uh-oh, I made too long of a stroke or too short of a stroke. So for instance, if I blow it past a cup, I no longer think, oh, I hit it too hard. Now I think, oh, I need to make a shorter stroke, because that is measurable. So for me, I like to have little benchmarks. So my benchmarks might be inside a foot to inside a foot. Maybe it's big toe to big toe, outside a foot to outside a foot. So I have measurable units that I can practice. And again, when they're measurable, now we can rely more on consistency with that, okay? And in your stroke should always have the same pace and tempo. You want to think of a metronome like you would in piano. Tick, tock, tick, tock. So whether you have a putt that's a 40-footer across the green, it should just be a longer stroke, tick, tock. And whether it's a shorter putt, maybe it's a 10-foot putt, and it's inside a foot to inside a foot, tick, tock. So again, tempo is a huge part of golf. You should be practicing tick, tock. You should think tick, tock in your mind while you're putting. And again, let's make it measurable as how far back, how far through, and that should be the same distance. So now, when I'm making my putts, and again, if I blow it past the cup, I'm thinking, uh-oh, I need a shorter stroke. So my next putt, I'm now thinking inside a foot to inside a foot. Tick, tock. And again, so much more measurable, so much more measurable. So I think if you are out there on the putting, if you're out playing golf, or even if you're on the practice putting green, start thinking, oh, too long of a stroke, too short of a stroke, versus too hard, too soft. And I guarantee you'll start making more putts. So that's really important. Now, how do we work on our distance control? Here's another drill that we can work at home from our carpet. So this is fantastic. Again, you can be doing it with your family. Have a little challenge, right? What you want to do is you want to have a starting point. You want to have a starting point, so you can set up a ball with a starting point and a ball with a kind of an ending point. Okay, let's go a starting point and an ending point here. And what you're going to do is, as you're putting, I want you to try to hit 3 different distances. Your first putt, you're going to try to make it just past your marker. Your second putt, you're going to try to make it in between the 2 markers. And your third putt, you're going to try to make it stop before the last marker. So again, if we have our balls all set up here, okay, we're going to make our first stroke. I want my ball to stop just past that first ball. Tick, tock. Woo, not bad, not bad. So now my next putt, I want to get it in the middle of the 2 balls, okay? So again, this is something we can be doing at home. You can be doing this right now for Easter weekend, and you can even have a marker where you started, especially if you're super competitive. And again, I want it slightly past. Tick, tock. Oh, okay, well that one matched my last one. So right there, I'd have to start over again, or you can lose points. But this is something we can be working on at home, is the distance control. So try to get one at the front of the marker, in the middle, and at the end. And if you need more of a challenge, you can start trying to get 5 balls within the first marker and the last marker, each being slightly a little bit longer. And then you can make some back, trying to make it a little bit shorter, a little bit shorter, a little bit shorter. By doing that at home, I guarantee when we get out there on the golf course, you are going to be a putting machine if you can do that. So those are some great tips, some great drills you can be doing at home. Again, alignment and distance control are the 2 most important parts of putting, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to do a little shout out here. I see Val has joined us. Thanks, Val, so much. And Chantel, love that you enjoyed the practice there. And Linda, thanks so much for joining us. Okay, I'm going to give you one more tip that I think is super important. You know when you've hit a ball onto the green and it's rolled through the green onto the apron, or what we call the collar. And the collar is when there's the kind of the puffy grass, the tall puffy grass, and the ball has come off the putting surface onto that apron, or even between the putting surface, the apron, and onto that collar. And sometimes it can be really quite thick and quite tall. And if you've ever tried to putt off that, the problem is you can't quite get your putter face behind the ball because that collar is raised up. So then you end up hitting a wobbly putt, or it's not a fabulous putt, and it's way too far past the cup. How can you deal with that? Well, here is a great tip. So if that ball has rolled through the green, and it's stuck up against the collar, what you can do, instead of putting it the normal way, instead of putting it with a nice flat putter face, try this. Try turning your putter around and using the tip of your putter. So again, when it's stuck against the collar, you're going to make a putting stroke, and you're going to try to, again, make a stroke with the ball, and it's more of a little bit of a descending blow, but I think it's going to come off a lot easier. Now, it works very, very well with a blade putter. Can you do it with a mallet? Absolutely. You can absolutely do it with a mallet. It's a little bit easier with a blade putter, but as you can see in this mallet putter, there's still a flat side there. So there's a little bit of a flat edge there that you can use, and you're going to want to make sure that you contact the ball off that flat edge. But again, you can definitely do it whether it's mallet style, blade style, any of those types of putters. So what you're going to do, again, it's stuck up against the collar. So I'm going to turn my putter from this way to up and down, and I'm going to contact. I'm just going to make the same putting stroke, but again, my putter face is down here, and I'm going to make the same putting stroke, and it's going to come off nice and smooth. So if you're someone that's stuck against the collar, that is going to be a fantastic new shot to add to your repertoire. Last thing I want to talk about before we leave is putter styles and putter, how we hold it. There are so many different putter styles out there. Just because when you were a kid you got a blade putter doesn't mean that's the putter style that's best for you. You need to get out there and try putters. Putting is so personal. So get out there. Go to your local golf town. There's hundreds of putters for you to try. Spend a couple hours there. Practice your putting when our stores open again. When they open again, get out there. Try a mallet, try a blade, try some of the new funky putters. Try all of those. And then also with how you hold the putter, there is no one way of how to hold the putter. We've talked about in grip, the 3 different types of grip: interlock, overlap, and baseball. But in putting, it's pretty much anything goes. There's so many different types of grips. There's the hand over hand. I've seen with the finger down the shaft here. I've seen the cross-handed. I've seen kind of the prayer or palm to palm. I've seen the saw, the claw. They're all great, whatever is good for you. So if you're struggling with your putting, maybe experiment with a new grip. Maybe try a new putter style. That could be the difference maker for you this season. So I hope you enjoyed the putting class today. Go back and try some of those drills at home this weekend. Have a challenge someone in your house to a little competition. So for that alignment drill, and also for you could do the clock drill, you can challenge that, but also the distance one. That's fantastic. I hope you all have a very, very happy Easter. I hope the Easter Bunny spoils you all, and I can't wait to talk about for you for our next class. So our next class is going to be on Tuesday, so super excited. We're going to talk about if you're someone who pulls the ball, because that's usually my bad move, we're going to talk about how to fix the pull and the proper sequencing of the golf swing. So thanks so much for joining us. If you've missed any of the previous videos, this is the 6th one. You can go to the Golf Town Facebook page at any time. Watch any of those 6 videos. They're going to be staying there, so check those out. And if you'd like to connect with me, on Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Lisa Longball, and on Facebook, I have a page called Lisa Longball. So hope to connect with you there, and thanks so much for joining. Happy Easter, everybody. Lisa Longball signing out.